Excuse me. Madness were one of the groups that really give me a lot of joy. National treasures in the UK, on the roof of Buckingham Palace, among various other things. I don't know if anybody noticed at the Olympics, when the Olympics when they were the Olympics, Lee Thompson has got a kilt on and he's dangling from a harness, but underneath the kilt is a load of jewellery on a chain. I don't know if anybody knows that. So it's kind of the crown jewel. It's very funny. Anyway, Lee was always a bit subtle. My wife Rosemary and I were planning to get married in 1979, and we needed a band, right? At the same time, I'd heard about this group called Madness that was recommended to me, and I always liked to see the bands live, so I thought two birds with one stone, so I booked Madness for the wedding. My wife was thrilled, needless to say, and occasionally brings it up even now, so they were great at the show, but I had to go into the dressing room beforehand and say, we are getting married. If my wife thinks for a moment or has any bad moments here, I'll kill the person that causes it. You know, one of those. Reckless Eric, I had to pull out into a back room as well. He had groped some girl at the bar, and it was a bad scene. So my wife's saying, what are you doing? You know, you're getting married to me, but you're all dealing with those bloody bands. Anyway, so One Step Beyond was my idea of a great album title and a great song. The band didn't want to do it. So I was banned from the studio when they made their first album with Clive Langer and Alan Stanley. But I didn't relent. You know, I was happy to try and get them to record it, which took about 6 hours, very late one night, and a lot of boring chat about the business. Anyway, they did record it, but they only recorded 1 minute, 25 seconds. And they stood back. I could see them looking at me. I knew something was on, and then they played it. And it was like that. What they didn't know, though, is that they weren't aware of the ability of editing. So I spent the night carving it together to make it, with a harmonizer and various other bits, to make it into a single. And they were astonished when I eventually said, this is your first single. It was a great moment for me. Anyway, Sugg said in a recent interview, Dave bored us to death about One Step Beyond. But we're glad we listened, otherwise we wouldn't be here. And we're going to play another little magic. Got me to get this guy who could fly, this kind of circus guy, Clive, but he had never tried to do it. He said it was very painful afterward. He said the kind of crotch pieces were quite difficult, but we didn't tell the band, so when he took off, the band genuinely got totally amazed. So it was great. Lee was always the wild man and always doing, you know, something really interesting. It turns out that the cameraman didn't close the magazine on the camera and we nearly lost it all, but there you go. So we also had a steady stream of artists coming into the office on a regular. I had an open door policy. If you had the balls to hand me the tape, I'd listen to it if I could. Reckless Eric fell into the office one day. He was so nervous about bringing the tape to Stiff that he got smashed on cider in a pub around the corner. And we weren't interested in it really, but Nick Lowe decided, our producer decided to put it into the cassette player, and Whole Wide World came out. Reckless always likes to say that I ruined